There.
Kevin already ruined this 17 times.
That's like an aggressive way to start an evergreen. Fuck it. So I guess we should, like, the thing is with the evergreens, it's like a weird way to start because I'm always like, hi, nobody, because I'm so used to doing them live now.
Yeah, but we did a whole 6 to 8 months of never doing them live, so you should have the practice for the intros, bro.
I should have this down, but do I fucking have anything ever down? No.
You have my heart locked down, in love with you.
But know what I'm in love with there in video games. And you know what I want to see every company do better.
Everything the same.
Not the same. You're kind of not wrong. But I figured today what I want to talk about, and I made this like a topic on our normal episodes because like I figured if it was a slow news day, we'd have something to go over. But essentially, I love PlayStation, as you may know. I have this little light here, which I love Nintendo. I got this light here, and
He loves Nintendo, guys.
I'm a giant fucking Xbox mark now. Obviously,
he doesn't even like Xbox. He just likes Game Pass. There's a complete difference.
You're right, but that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to go over all three of the companies, what they do good, what they do bad, and we're going to see what each one can learn from each other. And this is in absolutely no particular order because
we have absolutely no idea. We're kind of just like, yo, we're just going to throw things out there and we're going to talk about them and probably agree sometimes, disagree sometimes, and say, hi, Queena.
Hi, Queena. Aaron says hi. Hi. She doesn't know that she could be seen, but that's okay. So I guess
she can't on the actual thing. She can only be seen on the Discord call.
Oh, you're right. There's a secret.
So she's good.
Ooh. So I guess so you have so just to structure this out, I guess I should go with the most obvious one.
Nintendo, get better internet, you fucks.
That's on my little mental list actually, but I wasn't gonna go there.
That's the biggest one. Like, how are you like one of the leading companies? You make $1 bajillion a month.
A week.
A day.
They print money.
Like, honestly, I would not be surprised if they came out and said Nintendo was like based on video games alone, because obviously Microsoft and Sony both have other things they do.
Yes.
But based on video games alone, I would not be surprised if they came out and said Nintendo has made the most money out of any gaming company ever.
I guess I could believe that.
Like I would not be surprised because of the amount of fans they have, how big that their mascots are. Because I don't care what anyone says, Nintendo has the biggest mascots in gaming.
Yes.
And it's not even close.
You're almost diving into all my mental topics at once, which is
oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. But like the internet.
What I'm saying is like they have like all these things, yet they just fucking suck at doing online games. And anything with the internet, subscriptions, friends, talking online, everything is just trash.
So I guess
for Nintendo.
So officially, the title is the first thing that I wish Nintendo would make better is everything about the internet ever.
Everything about the internet ever, which is even more annoying because on the old, like again, if you can't tell, I'm just talking off the top of my head.
Aaron's like, I don't know what to do for this topic. I'm gonna rant 40 minutes though.
When we were younger, Nintendo was one of the ones that actually had you playing with friends more with like the fucking link cables and bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
they're really good at the same room stuff.
Yeah, but then as soon as you fucking go online, they're like, is it 1994?
Do you guys have your router numbers? I need you to put your individual router numbers into each other's Game Boys, and then you can play together. Like, everything about the internet. Like, I remember, what was it? Right when the 3DS came out, then we went to Wii U, and they're like, all right, guys, we're getting rid of friend codes. Which is not yet. Like, it's going to happen. And then the Switch came out. They were like, we're getting rid of the friend codes. Like, maybe. Like, we're set on.
We got the Switch Pro.
I don't fucking, like, it's not like, in reality, it's not the worst thing, because, like, everyone kind of shares it now, and the Switch is so popular, but, like, I can't just be like, oh, I want to add Aaron Norman 93 on my Switch. It's like, no, Aaron, I need your Switch code and all 16 numbers, and it better be right. Like,
and if not, then I need your social security number, your bank account, and your birth date.
But like, but let's, all right. So the friend codes suck. The whole like structure of the internet, like online sucks. Like playing Smash Brothers online is a chore, and I'm hardwired in. It's like for a fighting game.
That's another fucking thing. How the fuck do you come out with a system in the year after 20? I don't know when the Switch came out, but it was like what, 2016, 2017? When did the Switch fucking come out?
2017.
How the fuck does it not have an Ethernet port?
Well, all right. That isn't like that's not a Switch exclusive problem though. Like the Wii didn't have one and the Wii U didn't have one.
But, oh wow! Look at all those. Look at all those things called Nintendo systems that don't have one.
Yeah,
I know it's not the Switch thing, but what I'm saying is, okay, I can almost forgive the Wii. Okay. But as soon as the Wii U came out, the fact that I have a little adapter over here that plugs into the USB of my Nintendo systems to be able to fucking play hardwired on the internet.
So what's funny is I like how you're saying.
Sorry, you reminded me of that. It pissed me off.
No, because you said I forgive the Wii. The problem is one of Wii's biggest features when it came out is something called Wii Connect 24, which means it wanted you to be connected to the internet all the time for like the weather app, all these little apps, right? Remember the blue light thing around the dish tray? And when it lit up, that means you had an alert from the internet. So it wanted you to be connected all the time.
But they didn't know how to connect it to the internet, apparently.
But like, all right, so Smash Brothers sucks, or the online netcode sucks. Here's another thing: the store sucks, and I'm not just talking about the quality of the shit in the store. I don't care. Steam is a dumpster fire ever. It doesn't even have like a cart. So like, if you ever just been browsing on the store, I have had to write
the Switch is a little better now.
Maybe it is, but I remember me and my buddy were just looking around the store at his house one time. I don't know why, it's one of our favorite activities to do. And like, you click on a game and then go back to the sales page, and then you're back at the top. Then you gotta scroll all the way down again. Like, the store sucks.
That is not I will say not a Nintendo exclusive issue. There's a lot of things that do that, and I don't understand how hard it is to like, okay, I clicked on a game. How come when I go back one, why am I all the way at the top again when I just scrolled like for 20 minutes?
It's the absolute worst.
It makes absolutely no sense, and it's super annoying. So many things do that. Sony's PlayStation, like their sales, they don't always do that, but every once in a while, like this is the 7th game I clicked on, and then I hit back, and all of a sudden I'm back at the top again. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's oh god, my phone's really loud. That was an apology by me. No, that's annoying, and I wish they would fix it. And now, of course, I can't unlock my phone, so I sound like an asshole. It's not them exclusive, but pretty much the overall con is Nintendo just needs to get better at the internet.
For a company that was like at one point ahead in a lot of ways in technology,
at one point
they are. That's what I said. At one point, they are very behind on a lot of things now.
Absolutely. I guess we can keep criticizing them, but just so we'll refresh our brain, let's move on to Xbox. What could Xbox do better?
I think one thing Xbox can do better is work on their exclusives more.
Okay. We're somewhat on the same page. Yep.
So like, Halo was great.
As
I said, Halo was great. Halo's not great anymore. It'll take a lot for people that like, besides diehard Xbox and Halo fans, it's going to take a lot for people to care about Halo again.
Yeah,
they need to recreate a masterpiece type thing. Like they need to make a masterpiece in that series for people to care again. Nintendo, whether you think their games are overrated or not, some of them, they make good exclusive games. Their franchise characters have good games. There's some bad ones mixed in, but they have good games.
Yeah, overall.
Sony is very good at making great exclusives, and it's not for the cool thing about, in my opinion, about Sony is a lot of times these exclusives aren't based on one character that's been with them since the beginning. They'll make a new game with new characters with no connection to any other game that's an exclusive, and it'll be an amazing game.
Yes.
Microsoft doesn't do that. They might be now that they have Bethesda making exclusive games for them and stuff. It's a potential possibility. It's something that looks like they might be trying to work on. But as of now, their exclusive game catalog is racing and
Gears Halo.
Gears Halo, which Halo's gone downhill a lot, and I don't know anything about the newer Gears games, if they're any good or not.
I'm as of recording this date in 2 days from now, I'm still working through Gears of War 2 in the year 2021. So
So like I know people love the Gear series. I know people loved the Halo series, but
yes.
Besides those two series, like they don't really have anything that matters in exclusivity.
I'll take it one step further. Not only do you need to have a good exclusive, what I think Xbox can learn from Nintendo is that you actually have a marketable thing.
Mascot.
Like Master Chief, like if I were just some guy on the street and I saw Master Chief, I'd be like, armored space guy. Soldier. Yeah, he's not really recognizable. So when you look at something like Mario, you like, okay, that's a unique looking character. I know that's Mario. I know that guy. When you look at Marcus Phoenix,
I was gonna say, and I know like he wasn't originally a Nintendo character, but it's owned by Nintendo now. You look at fucking Sonic. Sonic hasn't had a good game in fucking years, but everyone knows who Sonic is because of the marketability of being in the games. Yeah,
Crash Bandicoot, like you can look at Pikachu, Ratchet. Like even people would be, even if you don't know who Ratchet or Crash Bandicoot is, you'd be like, that's clearly from some fucking Pixar movie or something. It's marketable.
Yeah.
But like there was almost so much dude bro realism with Xbox stuff. So like they need a good game, but along with that good game, I think you need like a marketable character, whether it be like a cartoony character, even if it was a realistic person. Like Master Chief needs a face. I know that's like his whole gimmick is he has no face, but if you had something to connect with you to make him more relatable.
I think with what you're saying is like, so I brought up the point how Sony's good at like making games without that marketable character.
Yes.
But Sony still has their own marketable characters for people to love and know.
Yeah.
Microsoft doesn't have either.
Right.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to like connect it together and come around because like without like me coming around connecting that almost sounded like we were kind of disagreeing in agreement in a weird way there.
Okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I mean, if I look at Xbox's like first party library, one, what? Two, like I can't picture anybody. And you know, like and I guess like that like you said, Nintendo and Sony have diversity and like that. If one character doesn't work for you, maybe you're more of a Splatoon guy, maybe you're more of a Nathan Drake guy. And Nathan Drake, a realistic looking guy, you can kind of point him out though, you know, you're like, that's Nathan Drake. I know that. Kratos. Like something like that. So like it's almost like Xbox as a whole needs a personality.
Yeah, kind of.
That makes sense. So
Xbox's personality and what made it big was online play. Like it wasn't really games. It was Halo and online play because of Halo, really.
Yes.
And then like it became for a lot of people, I know at least in my general sphere of people, the 360 literally became the online console. Sony kind of dropped the ball on that regards, at least at the beginning of the PS3.
Yeah, and from a place of ignorance, like I always say, I'll never forgive Xbox for convincing people they have to pay to play online. Like for me, I got a PS3 solely because I wanted to play online. I didn't want to pay for it, and like the 360 at launch, remember, didn't even have like internet built in. You had to get that little wireless adapter, or maybe it had an Ethernet port. Did it have an Ethernet port?
It had an Ethernet port, but if you wanted Wi-Fi, you needed an adapter because I had the adapter. But it did have an Ethernet port.
Okay, so that's something. But like, I will always be mad at them for convincing people to pay to play online. It's gotten better in recent times. Like personally, I don't pay for Plus because I haven't gotten enough use out of it. And if it wasn't for a certain service that I'll definitely maybe bring up at one point today, I probably wouldn't get it on Xbox. Oh yeah, I will. Well, we're gonna start. We're working our way through the negatives, and when we run out of negatives, we'll work to end this on a happy note. So
that's fair. That's fair.
What else can I like? I guess we could jump to PlayStation. We could jump back.
All right, you go this time. You go first this time.
One thing I think PlayStation needs to work on, they can learn from Nintendo and Microsoft, is I don't know how I want to word it. Like, kind of swallow your pride, if that makes sense. When we always talk about how we hate first place like PlayStation because they kind of lose themselves. So if you look at, there's a thing called the third console curse, where if you look at every company's third system, it's kind of the flop. Like the PS3 was kind of a flop at first. The Xbox One was kind of a flop. The what was it? N64 kind of a flop. And that's not even me dunking on it.
It didn't as a console. Both the N64 and the GameCube, I believe, both didn't do.
It did okay though, great. But compared to the Wii U, flop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So like now it didn't even get to that point. Sony kind of recovered. All right, PS3 flopped. Then they came around with the PS4. And their whole point of the PS4 was dunking on Microsoft, and it kind of got people on their side. But then they got such a lead, they're too cocky now. Where the PlayStation 5, other than it being fucking ugly to me, like there's just all these little things about it that kind of suck. Like for the right now.
My only issue with some of the stuff you might bring up here in a minute is I don't think some of this stuff isn't a Sony exclusive problem.
No, but
this gen has been really bad with certain things.
Yeah, well, like right now, like I said, both the Series S and the PS5, there is no fucking games for it, like exclusive. But like a little shit, like right now, the first one that comes to mind because we just talked about it was the way you expand memory on the PlayStation 5. Fucking sucks. You could plug in a hard drive and then transfer games, but like you have to buy this specific size SSD, which has to have a certain size heatsink, and then you have to take the sides off a PlayStation 5 and then put it in there and put it back just right. It's like you guys couldn't have thought a little more forward. How different
is that from the Xbox one is my only question.
The only difference, so the Xbox did the other shitty thing, which I think this is still bad, whereas they have a proprietary thing you can buy. And that thing also costs stupid amounts of money. I don't like it either. So I guess this is kind of a point for both of them in the long run.
That's what I'm saying. Like this gen, both of them kind of sucked with the hard drives and some of the other things.
Right. And I personally don't mind transferring stuff. Like I'll move it because it doesn't take that long to move stuff from one. You know what? Fuck it. This is an all three console problem. All your memory options suck. I guess that's what I'm really transferring. The Switch memory size, launching with 32 gigabytes is fucking atrocious.
Yeah, because like I download one game online and my system's full, and I don't have the ability to go find an SD card with a terabyte that'll work in my Switch.
I mean, yeah, I think I have a 256 in mine because it was the only thing I could find reasonable at the time, and like that's still not a lot.
You know? No. Like the amount of times I have to delete a whole game just so I can play a new game, and then go back and delete that game to play a different game.
Right. And the audacity of the Series S that I love you Game Pass machine, but if you're an all digital machine, 512 gigabytes, that's what you're gonna throw at me. That annoys me. I was like, that's the all digital one. Fucking put a hard drive on it.
That's the other thing that annoys me is like, yeah, it's cheaper, but like if it's gonna be all digital, why the hell are you fucking not putting in a bigger drive?
Terabyte minimum, which I don't even think is enough anymore, but
no, I have my PS5 as a terabyte. I have filled it and deleted stuff at least 4 times already.
Yeah, it's asinine.
When you have games like freaking Warzone, that's what 200 gigs complete.
I've uninstalled it because I can't even.
I did too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. NBA, not the NBA that's coming out now, but like last year's NBA, I downloaded. It was 120 gigs, I think.
That's a tenth of a hard drive if you have a terabyte more.
Actually
more because you don't even get the full terabyte. I think
Dead by Daylight is 70 gigs, and that's not even like that big of a game.
Right. Well, I think if you look at, I don't know what it is on Xbox Series X, but I think your PS5 only has really.
It's 800 and something.
It's like 800 something. So
after like the stuff you need for like the drivers and the system requirements. It's in the 800s.
So all that shit sucks.
7 or 8. It might be high 7s actually, which is even worse.
Right. Let's see. What else can we criticize from every one of them? Now that you kind of got the gist down. Anything that pops in your head, I'll go for example. Fucking PlayStation Now. Learn something from Game Pass, motherfucker.
Honestly, okay, so this goes back with you saying like swallow their pride. Just fucking rip off Game Pass. Straight up, just rip them off.
Not only rip off the service, bundle Plus in with PlayStation Now. Make it a deal.
I also heard, like, didn't they like work together to make part of the service? So like, why aren't they just ripping it off?
I don't know. I know Sony bought that company Gaikai, and then I don't know about.
Yeah, I'd have to go look into it more. But like, there was something where like they worked together on something, and then Sony's just like, yeah, nah, we ain't gonna use that.
For no
reason.
And like you've said it before, the PlayStation Now library is different from Game Pass, and it's more your taste.
Yeah, but like it's more my taste, but besides PS4 and the non-existent PS5 games and the 3 PS2 games that are on there, put more fucking PS2 games on there.
Not only that, all the games that I want to play because I'm a giant PS3 mark are
that's
streamable.
What I was about. Well, that I was getting to that.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like those are the only ones that are downloadable, and like I'm fine because I have a shit ton of good internet and everything's working now.
Mm-hmm. Aaron said it.
But like, if you have, even if you just have 100 gig download and 10 upload, which is what we had before we switched, and you are living in a house of 2-3 people, and they're watching Netflix. Someone's on their phone on the Wi-Fi. Now you're there. Now you're down to 30 download and like maybe 5 upload. To keep doing that, to stream the game, like that's going to take up the whole thing. It's going to lag like crazy.
It is going to lag like crazy. And as somebody who's been using the xCloud, I guess, what is it? Game Pass Cloud on my phone. That shit is great when it works. It's really cool to be like, I'm playing Halo 5 over Game Pass Cloud. But the second it doesn't, it's gone.
It's unplayable.
It totally sucks. I was playing Ori and the Blind Forest, which is a beautiful game. Even on my phone, it looked crisp. It looked beautiful. When it was responsive, it was great. The second I got home and Tina put on her computer,
and that's the thing. Like, I had a good experience with PS Now because my internet was fine. And even though I streamed like 4 or 5 different games, tried a bunch of different things, I had no issues. But I'm not the average person who's going to have average internet. Like, I've specifically have paid for upgraded internet and cancel other things to get my internet. I have specifically found ways. I have 100-foot fucking Ethernet cable now running through my goddamn house to plug in everything. I need to get the freaking switcher thing so I can plug in my systems again. Like, I did all this just so I could have better internet. The average person's not going to do that.
Right.
So that's going to make PS Now that much worse. Figure out how to get your PS3 games downloadable. Add more PS2 games.
PS1 games too.
I just don't understand.
Don't stop. PS1 games are downloadable on your Vita and PSP. Well, not your PSP anymore.
But this also reminds me of the next thing. Xbox. It's 2021. Stop with just shooters and platformers. Get more RPGs.
Yes. Well, before you do that, I want to add one more thing to the PlayStation Now thing. Before,
go ahead.
So the one thing I was saying, how you can play on your phone with the cloud, super cool. Yeah. PlayStation, do the same. All that stuff we said, make a streamable thing. If I could do PS Now on my phone, that would be fucking fantastic. But there's no PS Now app.
Before you do that, get your fucking PS Now working.
Well, yeah, that too. So
then do that.
Yeah. So go on with the Xbox platforms or shooters and whatever thing.
It's just like, I feel like I go on Xbox and I go through Game Pass, and Game Pass is great. Game Pass, the way they do the service is amazing. All these new day one games coming out are great. I feel like as I go through though, it is 80% fucking shooters and platformers, 10% indie art games, 5% other, and then maybe 5% RPGs if I'm lucky.
Yes, there are some, but it is very. It's not I will say it's not a diverse enough library.
No, that is my issue. It seems to have been getting a little better recently with a lot of these first day releases and stuff. But like last time I went on Game Pass and like really went through the library was like a month or 2 ago.
Yep.
And I think there was maybe 6 there was like 8 things they called RPGs on there, and there was 4 that was like actually RPGs.
Okay.
And it was like Eichenfell.
Tales
I think they added Octopath. Baby. What'd you say?
Tales of Vesperia, baby.
When I looked, that wasn't on there yet.
Bullshit. Oh yeah, you're right. That was kind of recent.
Because they recently added that.
You're right.
There was Eichenfell. I think it was Octopath because they put that on right before Tales.
Okay.
And then there was like 1 or 2 indie games I didn't even know.
Right.
I'm like, well, I'll try those at some point, but.
Right. And
one of those RPGs are one of the phone style RPGs where it's like loot crates that you don't pay for that you get from in-game currency. But like, have you played those phone RPGs where it's like just super annoying and weird shit everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those. And then there was another one where in the first 10 minutes, the girl had the hots for the guy, and in 5 seconds later, they said they were brother and sister. And I was like, well, I'm done with this game.
That's weird. That's weird. So
yeah. So I was like, well, done with these games. So it just, they need to target more people. Like, I feel like back in the day, it really felt like Xbox was sports, shooters, and some platformers,
which is fine. I would rather them have their own personalities, even if Game Pass never got that many RPGs, which would be great if they did. But if PlayStation Now became like a comparable service and had more
RPG stuff, and was more RPGs and like their style action games, perfect. I'd get both, and that'd be great. But until PlayStation Now does that, I need Game Pass to pick it up a little bit.
Right. And we'll even stay on the same topic, Nintendo, with your little subscription service. What the fuck games are you picking? Like, what the fuck are they? Like, you have so many. From the Wii era, they had all these games on this virtual console. And then they moved to the 3DS. Yeah. And then the 3DS didn't even have the same games you already made. Why do they have different libraries? If you're going to put NES here and NES here, just fucking put them over. And then they go to the Wii U, which had to start the virtual console all over again. Started out with like 5 games. Like, dude, just move them over. I don't understand why it's so hard. In fact, if you're going to make them different, you should have had like the 3DS be like, here's your Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games. And have your home system be all the home system games. Yeah. But like, they had different fucking libraries. And Nintendo, with the longest history in the world, or at least compared to these three,
backwards compatibility.
That and those fucking games are tiny. They do not take that long to fucking upload. I can do it.
Dude, I don't want to like we always joke about emulation. You can download the entire NES and SNES libraries in less than 10 minutes, if that.
Right. So that whole library should be on the NES app. And before people go, but Kevin, the licensing issues that come with uploading an entire library of 25-year-old games, it's going to be a nightmare. You'd have to track down Taito. Fucking whatever. Their whole first-party library shouldn't be a fucking problem.
Yeah, 100%.
That alone. Instead, you upload fucking like Claymaster, whatever that Super Nintendo game was last month.
Oh, that's my other thing about all this. Like, we're talking about this, but on the Switch and their little online service, which they don't have a virtual console anymore on the Switch. Like, that's just non-existent. All they have for their online subscription is NES and SNES.
Yeah, there should be more by a lot.
Why can't you have a console that is supposed to be what you originally wanted? It's supposed to be able to be taken places and also played at home. Where the fuck are my Game Boy games? Do you know how many Game Boy like Advanced, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced, and even DS games, honestly, I would buy on the Switch?
Yeah, I don't know how it would work with the 2 screens, but yeah.
It'd be easy. I mean, with it being a touchscreen, they could easily do it, but
if you dock it. Either way.
But like, even just Game Boy Advance, I can name off the top of my head Fire Emblem 7, 8, Golden Sun 1 and 2, all the old Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Like, that's just off the top of my head. Some of my favorite Zelda games were Game Boy games.
Yeah.
Mario. There was fun Mario games that were on Game Boy. They weren't the best, but they were fun.
Right. Not only that, you know what's sad? Like, when the 3DS got Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, it was like a fucking orgasmic celebration by people. Like, dude, those should have been on there like day one.
Dude, I bought Gold for the 3DS, Pokemon Gold, because I was so excited for it to be on there.
Right, like,
but yeah, it should have been on to begin with. It should be on the Switch right now.
If I could probably pull up the Switch NES library and I can name 5 games that should be there without a doubt. Like, it shouldn't be this weird. And not only that, fine, you want to move to a subscription service, but even like from Wii U to 3DS, fuck everyone who bought those games before. You had to buy them again. Like, why? Why? That goes back to the internet thing. Why can't you figure it the fuck out? Like, why? I don't understand why it's so hard.
I can deal with the subscription service as like a Game Pass PS Now thing, but like, put more shit on it. Why is it just NES and SNES? You're telling me you can't figure out how to put on, because of the button situation, you can't put on GameCube games, you can't put on N64 games?
Wrong.
You've proven you can by bringing up the 3D All-Stars from Mario.
Not only that,
right there, proved it.
Other people figured it out. There's another company that has to swallow their fucking pride. Is Nintendo sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's
it's just such a pain in the ass.
Also, we'll go on to another thing that I wish Nintendo would approve. I'll circle back, I promise. Your controllers, not just the Joy-Cons alone. Well, not just the Joy-Cons alone, which have their own fucking issues, but the sticks being so bad. I don't understand how every other company has made controllers pretty much the same way, but Nintendo still has to be like digital triggers, bro. No analogs. Like just little shit like that. Like, why? Now you've made racing games so much fucking harder to make on your system. Which I don't know other than Mario Kart and like Crash Team Racing. I don't think there's that many racing games on Switch, are there?
Did they bring Diddy Kong Racing up yet?
No. That's a weird scenario because Rareware is owned by Microsoft.
That's true.
But they were allowed to make it for DS because it was already in development.
Okay.
So like that's weird. But like the controllers are fine. Like overall, but then you have like say people want to get those Super Nintendo controllers or NES controllers, like for the online service, you have to get them from Nintendo, like kind of deal. And then the price of them are fucking wild. I have never owned an official Switch controller because they're what, $70?
Yeah, I refuse. They're too much. I bought one of the Pokemon Pikachu GameCube controllers because I don't care what anyone says. I enjoy playing Smash Bros on a GameCube controller just because it's just the way that grew up playing it.
Grow up.
It's no different. Fuck you you over there.
No.
Why?
It's just like people need to let the GameCube controller die. Just let it go.
I like the controller. It's not the best. I'm not saying it's a good controller, but it's no different than other type of nostalgia. People like it because they like it.
I know, but there's a point where like, dude, that was 2000. Like,
okay, so you're saying things from 2000 aren't good?
Some things aren't. The GameCube controller was never good, but that's a different topic. I hate that thing.
But anyways, as I was saying, I bought one of those, and then I bought like a regular. Basically, it's like the Pro controller, but like $20, right. And it does just fine.
Oh, I had a ripoff of that. Tina dropped it, and I was really upset about it. And the right analog stick broke.
I don't even use it because, like, a lot of times, again, I'm just used to the GameCube controller now, so like I use that because I know where the buttons are, and like half the buttons on it you don't even need, so they're kind of dumb. But
yeah, there's I want Nintendo to fix a lot of things. I think all companies, or Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, fuck the D-pad being down there. I like my sticks parallel like Sony does. That's a little thing that's totally personal. I fucking hate the D-pad being there.
I agree 100%. I think that's why I prefer PlayStation controllers over anything.
Right. I do too. I don't like this. Well, I don't like this little clicky thing, but like this, I don't like this. I want this down here. But
I think it also messes with me with like a lot of shooters. I just feel like it's better when they're parallel. It's easier to aim.
Yes.
Also, I don't know if this is just a me thing, but I was playing MLB The Show on PlayStation 5 is what I've been playing on. Yep. It's on Game Pass, which is cool. So I went to go play it on my Xbox one night. And I don't know what it is about the analog stick on the Xbox, but it didn't feel as precise as the PlayStation's controller. Like it felt like it felt like there was like edges. So like when you move the PlayStation controller, the whole thing is super smooth no matter where you put it. There's no like jagged edge. And it felt like there was like grooves on the Xbox controller that it could fall into when it was up against the
That's probably the gate inside. That's probably it probably is just the way it's made.
I didn't like. I know this is like a very minuscule like me thing, like very peculiar, but like, it aggravated me and it caused me issues, and I got really annoyed.
Well, we've done a half hour of negatives, but I don't know how long this is going to be. We're going off the top of my head. We'll circle around to some positives.
It was kind of like negatives and positives because like we're kind of like, yo, Nintendo, you suck at this.
Well, let's be positive.
But you can learn from these things.
Well, let's talk about the positive things. Like, what's one thing that PlayStation's doing right now, Aaron, that you love?
PlayStation's doing right now that I love.
That you love.
You know what? All right, this is actually kind of cool. It's something they did to combat the issue of PS5 not having their own games.
Okay.
And it's not as cool as Game Pass. It's not the greatest thing ever, but I do like it. If you have PS Plus and a PS5, you have the PS Plus collection for free, which is like 20 to 25 critically acclaimed games on PlayStation that you just get because you had PlayStation Plus.
Great. Yeah.
And it's not like the greatest thing ever, but I think it's cool because that little bit of games covers a whole bunch of genres. Like there's God of War, there's Persona 5, so there's my RPG.
That's good.
Last of Us is on there. Mm-hmm. Like it's like just a group of games from PS3 to PS4 that were just like, it's mostly PS4 versions, but like it's
Okay, so like, I was going to ask if they were updated at all, or
it's like the PS4 versions, and like I mean they look better on the PS5. Like I have every game I've played, it either looks at least a little bit better, even being the PS4 version, or at the very least the load times are so fast compared to the PS4 versions.
Well, yeah, because you're on the SSD now.
The really, really nice SSD. I will give Sony that. I don't have load times really ever.
Yeah, I've heard on the PS5 gone. Which
the only game I've had load times on, which is the craziest thing, is that Fairy Tail game, and it wasn't long, but like you know how like back in the day, loading screens would have like little gimmicks you could do stuff on because I mean some of them were really long back in the day.
Right.
One of the characters is holding a fish and it swings it like a baseball bat as now loading's going across and you can hit the letters. Mm-hmm. It starts about halfway in the screen, and every once in a while, I could hit the end of now loading.
Maybe once in a while.
Yeah. So, like, it wasn't like a long loading time, but it was the longest loading time.
There, I will say, so I'll give Sony that credit because I haven't gotten to experience that yet. When it comes to like, I was playing Jedi Fallen Order, that game had really long loading times, and I was playing it off the. So I thought, let me put it on the fucking Xbox internal SSD and it'll load faster.
No.
They were just emulating the old Xbox version. Apparently now it got patched for like, Series SX enhancements, but like, I kind of wanted that earlier, buddy. So.
Oh, that's another thing I like that, I don't know if Xbox is doing it because I don't have a Series X, I have a Series S. Mm-hmm. Almost every like newer PS4 game that I've gotten has had a free upgrade on PS5.
Yeah, which is a great thing. I like. I love all that.
Like that's a positive. Like I got Valhalla like a month before I got my PS5, and so I didn't really play it that much. And being able to like immediately put it on my PS5 and immediately download and install the PS5 version.
Yeah. So
was awesome.
Series X is doing that.
Is it okay? I wasn't sure because I don't have the Series X, and the Series S you don't put CDs in, so it doesn't matter.
No. To transition to that, one thing I like that Xbox is doing is there even games that are coming out now are getting upgraded, like we've been talking about. But going back and doing that FPS boost thing is fucking awesome. Like it just, I like their care for older games, even games that like you're not even thinking about playing anymore. There's there's this weird window of like where games are like retro and they're like, remember, let's say Splinter Cell because I'm playing that. Like they went back and upgraded all the textures and it looks good. And then there's like new games with like, we got to upgrade these for Series S. And then there's like that weird middle ground, like Far Cry 5. You're like, okay, they went back. It came out last gen. Let's do the FPS boost. Now the gameplay is smoother and more fluid, and like their care for their old games, even though like I used to dunk on Microsoft because I was like, it's not backwards compatible. You're just getting a download key for old games. Like if you put KOTOR in, it's not playing it off the disc. I'm like, you just got a free copy from the store.
Yeah,
it's something. But like now, I really do appreciate on all fronts, like making sure these games aren't just like on that system anymore. You know?
I think overall, Xbox at this point is doing backwards compatibility. I wouldn't say backwards compatibility, but like they're past library the most justice.
Yeah, they're doing much better.
Like Sony has some of that at times, but it's not nearly as nice as
they do it as like a reaction almost. You know, like they wouldn't have done it, I feel like, if Microsoft didn't take this new approach to like, let's go back and like what was it? Sony says they believe in generations, whereas Xbox is like, fuck it, like we are no more locking down to one system. So when I was talking about, they're going back to their old games that they care about. Even if you're still stuck on the Xbox One, which, by the way, Microsoft, here's something you can learn: fucking learn how to number your systems or name them. But anyway, if you're still stuck on that, they're gonna do that cloud enhancement now. So if you want to play a Series S game, like, oh, my Xbox One can't handle it, they're gonna be using their fucking cloud technology to pick up the pace, which I think is fucking cool. Like, is that going to be perfect?
I have to see how it works, but that's interesting. Right. It's an interesting idea. I like.
But it's an attempt. You know, it's like, okay, you can't get a Series S yet, but we're trying. You know, they are getting away from the Xbox, whereas that's just going to become a brand now, which I think is fucking cool. Like, they're going to have Game Pass in your smart TVs or on your phone or on your PC. Like, that's a great goal. But there's also this product like, hey, you don't want to stream your games, we got this box for you too, you know, like you can just download them here. I think that would be fucking great for PlayStation to pick up. But
I don't know how, like, I get the idea. I don't know how well it'll work out.
I don't either. It's an idea.
Like, it's definitely an idea. Like, I'm intrigued by it. I just don't know how, like, I don't know. I'm in a weird spot with it. Like, I hope it works great, but I don't see how it's going to.
Right.
But like, I do like that they're attempting, you know?
Yeah, it's a good thing. I do think overall all three companies are doing good. There's obviously room for improvement. Like,
like this whole thing is just like, some people feel like they can't critique things because they love them. And then there's the other side that all they do is shit on things they love.
Right.
I feel like you need that common, like that middle ground. Like, I love Sony. If I had to choose one console to keep playing, I would probably choose Sony personally.
Right. It's got what you want on it.
Yeah. But there's a lot they could do better. But they also do some good shit that I love. So, like, I want them to do better, but I also am not going to go out there and be like, man, Sony sucks because they don't do these three things that I want.
No. Like, you know, I am overall a giant Sony fan, but, you know, I'm not right. I mean,
I'm a Game Pass mark lately.
Well, I'm a Game Pass mark because right now, like, so I guess we can talk about this, and it's nobody's fault because I know COVID shut the world on fire, whatever. But like, there's not a game I'm dying to play right now on a PS5. Like, I want to play Ratchet and Clank, don't get me wrong, but for how much a PS5 goes for how available it is, and to get one game, I'm like, I don't want to do that right now. And again, I love the Series S, but there's no fucking games that are for Series S that I'm losing my shit over. Like, I'm learning about Halo, loving it. Learning about Gears of War, loving it. But like, when we talk about a game that you could identify on the Xbox, it'd be like, Tales of Vesperia, I guess. And you're like, well, that's on Switch and PS4 and everything. Try again.
I think it's also on PS Now, actually.
Well, it is now. So that game came out as a 360 exclusive, at least in America. So I wanted it on there, but then, you know, whatever. Like, my next guess would be like, oh, Jedi Fallen Order. Fuck, that's on everything. So like I love this thing. It is a Game Pass machine mostly, and that's fine. And I'm getting value out of that as opposed to paying for Plus. But, you know, I mean, I have a fucking Killzone tattoo on the back. Who loves Killzone that much? Me. I'm the fucking idiot. Like, but like, there's no one, like, this is kind of a great jack of all trades box. Literally master of none. There's some RPGs, there's some shooters, there's some platformers. It's almost like with right now, what I think Xbox is doing great is they're a great B overall library. Whereas PlayStation's got like fucking A's and fucking D's, and like, there's a little more extremes. Where Nintendo's got like banger first parties, and then they fail at everything else. Like, so here's something the Switch could do better is price your fucking games appropriately. Like, your good games get old, drop their price. But I don't want to play like Witcher 3 on the Switch because I get it's portable if you want to play it for a whole maybe an hour. But like I don't want to play the shittiest version of a game on the Switch. And it's cool for people that do. This is totally subjective, but like make it optimized for the fucking thing.
I think for me, kind of where I thought you were going with, and then you kind of veered off a little bit, was The Witcher 3, or let's go Skyrim. Skyrim's the best example.
Let's go with Skyrim. It's on everything.
It's the best example. All right. Mm-hmm. Skyrim came out what? PS3?
2011. 11.
And it was $60 when it came out.
That's bullshit. It shouldn't be. It should be $40 most.
That's what I'm saying. It was $60 when it came out then. Then it came out on the next gen, $60 again. Now it's out on the newest stuff. And other systems, like if I want to go buy it online on PlayStation, I think it's $20. If I want to go buy it online on Xbox, I think it's $20.
Right.
If I want to buy it on PC, it's
probably free with mods.
I mean, I have the mods, but I think like I'm using Chris's version because I have Chris's library. Right. But like, I think it's $20 to buy the regular edition, and that's what it's been forever.
Right.
And the cool thing about PC is they released the new special edition or whatever a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 2017 or 18, the most recent version. And anyone on PC who had the game before got this version for free.
Right. And then for the
then Switch comes out and it's $60 for one of the worst running versions of it. It runs fine. Like I've played it on the Switch because one of my friends had it and I played it it was 1 week, and I think I played it for 25 hours in that 1 week because I was babysitting stuff. Like people like babysitting a kid and animals. There you go. That's the word, pet sitting.
Right.
So I played it a crap ton that week and it ran fine, but like it wasn't worth $60.
No,
like
I get the Switch's gimmick is it's portable and you may get games that run worse, but like if you're gonna make them portable, like please optimize them because like I don't think there's any third party like I've gotten what is it, Street Fighter Anniversary, and I think that's like the one third party game I got from my Switch that like isn't on anything else because like it runs like shit most of the time.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Maybe that's subjective.
For me, Switch is mostly for Nintendo games like Pokemon, Mario. I don't play Zelda often, but like if I'm gonna like, you know, obviously that you're playing that on Switch.
Right.
It's for those type games. I get it for Fire Emblem because it's on there. It's mostly just games that you can only get on that system. If it's gonna be on multiple systems,
I will never buy it on Switch.
I'll say 99% of the time I'm buying it on PlayStation or PC.
Right. It's I don't know. I that's a pride swallowing thing. And also like Nintendo needs to
think. I think Valkyria Chronicles 4 is the only game I bought on Switch that's on more than just the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, and SMT just because like SMT games are like only Nintendo.
Is it? No,
no, Nocturne's not. But what I'm saying is like since after the original Nocturne,
right.
SMT besides Persona, because it's technically, even though it's the same, it's different. It's a whole bullshit. We could literally probably spend a whole hour just talking about SMT stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, SMT was exclusively Nintendo up until the Nocturne remake, and I'm assuming that's because the original Nocturne was actually on PlayStation 2 originally.
Wait, well, you're only of it. I feel like there was some normal PlayStation one. Hold on, enhance. Let's go to this. Because,
I mean,
like,
Nocturne is SMT3. That was the last one on.
No. I feel like there were more. Shin Megami.
No, it was the PlayStation 2 games. It was Digital Devil Survivor,
Devil Summoner.
Yep, those were pre Nocturne. After Nocturne, they've all been either on DS. Yeah, after Nocturne came out, after like the original Nocturne came out on PS2, they have been on only, it might have been after Nocturne, but like after PS2 SMT games.
There's some on the Japanese Sega CD, sir. The PC Engine CD. I know what you mean. In America, I got it.
I hate everything about you right now.
I just want to be right.
But that is why I got it on Switch, because I'm just so used to it. Plus, SMT5 is going to be coming out. I don't know if it'll be on other things. I honestly couldn't tell you, but I'm expecting it to be a Switch game. It got announced the same day the Switch got announced, and it's still not here.
It'll be here one day. Oh, you want to know what else Nintendo can do fucking nicely? Stop doing this artificial scarcity bullshit.
Yeah,
I fell for the Mario All-Stars trap. Whatever, shut up. But like,
Me too,
I only fell for it because it was on sale at Best Buy for $40 because I think somebody fucked up somewhere. But like, the scarcity thing is bullshit. Going back to the internet, just keep it on your fucking store. Even if you want to sell it as a bundle, sell Mario 64 for $25. People will still eat it up. You know, like or what is it, Sunshine or Galaxy? Keep that shit out there. Their store needs so much work. And in fact, you know what? Going back, here's one thing that they can all do to improve. Sony used to be the best at it. Their browser store, like I can go on a browser and browse the store, used to be fucking great. And now if you go to
browser on PS5, I don't think there's a browser.
No. Like if I go on PlayStation Store on my browser on my PC,
on your browser,
I used to be able to like find any game, download it, and be good. And now the browser store sucks. There's nothing pre PS4 there. If I type in Killzone 3, it doesn't come up on the store.
I would say the only way to get PS3 games now is through a PS3, right?
And if you fucking use the PS3 store, I guarantee you, go tear your ACL. It's a more enjoyable experience.
I would say the PS3. So one of the reasons I've disliked the PS3 is I know you think the UI is fine.
I love that cross media bar. Boop boop boop. Easy.
I think it's the stupidest thing ever because there's like 3 different places of settings.
It's all in one vertical bar though.
No, it's not. That's the issue.
No, it is. Like, it's a vertical. I'm gonna find the swatches.
Because there's one area for like the game settings, then you had another one for like system settings, and you had to go left or right to find the right one that you needed. Then up and down, like it was not. And on top of it being annoying, it is not visually appealing at all. You can't tell me that it's visually appealing. If you're gonna make a UI, it should be visually appealing.
No, that is just a simple thing. There's one on the left. There's your user profiles. Then the settings are all in one vertical. Then next to it is photos, then music, then movies, which were never used, then game. All the settings were in one, but I will say there was annoying to be like game settings, video settings, screen settings. Like,
the whole thing was annoying. I didn't like it. It was, again, not visually appealing in any way whatsoever. It's another reason why I didn't like the Xbox, not the new system, but the Xbox One.
Oh yeah,
I didn't like its UI because like even the Xbox Series S menu kind of sucks, but I'm getting used to it now. But like, it still sucks. Xbox. That's another thing. Microsoft, like, they can work on their UIs.
I would say
I think 360 was like the only one that had a decent one. It wasn't good, but it was like the only decent one.
I would say
that is something.
All of them need work. All of them need work.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I said. But I'm saying 360 was the best out of all of them, and it's just gone downhill each generation. Best doesn't mean it was good. It was better than the rest of them.
Though, all right, I'll give you the Blades one was good. What was shitty is when I'm already paying for your system, I'm already paying for Xbox Live Gold, and then we talked about this before.
Ads on it.
Yeah, that was horseshit. Like that was gross. Like, I will say I was not a 360 fan for many reasons, like paying for the online. The proprietariness of the 360 I didn't like.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like you had to buy the special hard drive. You had to get the wireless adapter. I will say I think then the Xbox One happened and became like a little more open, even though it still wasn't great. Yeah. And then like now, like you can literally turn this thing into an emulation box if you want, you know, like it costs you $20 to do it, but you can do it without any repercussions. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I think that's one thing that overall I don't like the PS3, but like even the PS3's UI is better than most of like the Microsoft ones. I think that's the one thing Sony has definitely 100% done better every single time. Yeah. Is the UI. It's not even close. Like PS4 was so simple. It was super visually appealing because you could see the stuff from your games or put a background if you wanted.
Right. Well, PS3 you could. Yes.
Like like I don't know, like I just feel like I don't remember. I honestly, off the top of my head, can't remember the way PS1 looked.
Oh, it was beautiful. I love this.
PS2 I remembered was fine. It was very simple, but like of the time, easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sony has pretty much done UIs the best out of every console. By far, hands down, nothing comes close.
I gotta try the 5. I heard that like the 4 and 5s like were swapped in a way. Like you would hold the button and what it would do in 4, it was like press on 5.
Yes, that is the one difference that's been the one thing that's been messing me up is if you held it on the 4, I think it brought up like the power menu stuff. You press it on the 5 to do the power menu stuff, and if you hold it, it brings up like a little UI on the bottom, which now that I've learned what it is, it's actually very helpful to switch between things, to go to your different like stuff. But yeah, that did take me a little bit to get used to, and that's the one thing I don't understand why they switched it. That one didn't make sense to me, but the UI itself is still way better.
Reasons. So I think that that's a good little rant. You guys, everyone who listen to this podcast, find a way to get to us, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Aaron's TikTok. I don't fucking care. Give us what you think is good about each one and what is bad, and we'll ignore anything that's like annoying fanboy comments like "fuck you, Sony's doing everything great." I don't need that shit. That was my
but if you have actual critiques or actual things you like, fucking tell us. Maybe we missed something. I'm sure we missed plenty of it.
Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo won't read them anyway, so don't worry about it. They don't care.
And at the same time, we are both marks. I own 2 Switches, an Xbox Series S, and a PS5.
I don't have a PlayStation 5 yet because I'm pretty sure they're not even real. So,
not to mess up the stream, but it's
that weird 3D that 3D printed model you got is weird.
Right, right next to my Animal Crossing Switch.
Oh, here's one more thing that we can add. So what Sony can learn from Microsoft, not in names, but fucking design. PS5 is the ugliest goddamn console that isn't an Atari Jaguar to me. I hate that thing. I'm sorry. It's so big and unnecessary. Feel like
it's not even that big, dude.
It's huge.
It's not as
big. I thought the Series X was gonna be a fucking tower, and it's shorter and like thinner.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like it's not like bigger than most consoles, but it's still not. You're acting like it's fucking the size of a PC tower, and it's not that big.
It's not as big as a PC tower, but it's like it's unnecessarily. I think it's ugly. I like the PS4. The PS4's look was the slickest one, and then the slim PS4 looked fine. The slim PS3.
I don't know. I think honestly, if the outer plates were like black or a different color, it wouldn't look as ugly.
White electronics suck. That's why I put a vinyl skin on the Series S.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't need this to be white. All right, Aaron, get us out of here before we ramble forever.
Follow us on the Twitter at Frenemy Fire, Console Kev, and Aaron Norman. Twitch, Console Kev, Aaron Norman 93. Instagram, TikTok at Aaron Norman. And thank you, patrons who get to hear this early. Possibly whenever this gets released. Thank you for supporting, following, watching, listening, hanging out, and peace, nerds.